And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Speed Gaming. And this is a Link to the Past randomizer. We're doing a casual weapon start. It's going to be the sword that we're starting with tonight. And our runners are going to be Leslie Pro, Slumberjack, uh,
Akuhesh and
Music, and I can't pronounce the one in the top right-hand corner. It's a bit of an awkward one for me.
I'm not sure either. I think I'll probably just call them Aku for sure. Akuhesh, I think? Could be wrong. In case anyone in chat knows, please enlighten us. But we have ourselves, casuals without a. This is not casual boots. Usually we tend to race casual boots more often than straight casual, but this is casual, just regular old casual. Standard start with a sword. And let's see how this goes.
Yes, let's see how this goes. We'll be getting underway here in just a moment. Alongside me at the booth is Star 1468, and we are underway as Slumberjack and everybody else is getting underway here.
Yep. And confirming in chat that it is Akuhesh, thank you. Looks like as far as sprites go, we've got Zelda in the top left. For Slumberjack, Aku is playing as a cow. I'm having a brain fart as to Leslie's sprite, and I'm actually not sure which particular variant of the Link sprite that is for Danny.
Not sure either. But that first chest
It's got
was
the
just
original Link outfit, right? Jack Frost sounds about right. Crystals on Eastern and Desert, Eastern and Hera did not catch Desert for Akuhesh.
And Uncle just had some bombs, and we're going to see what the chest has, and it's just another full heart. So, kind of a slow start here with items.
Yeah, 5 hearts, not the greatest. Early things, they two at least all have bombs because they got some bombs early, so that's good because that's all. Since it's a regular casual and not casual boots, they do need to find some method of getting the back of escape chest after all. I am the female commentator, Jeff. Or what are your pronouns actually? Good question.
He, him will work for me just fine, thank you.
Yep, so that is who's who between us, voice-wise.
It could be me. I do have a very loud, boisterous voice. And that one check there, we just get a map. We're going to hit cell to cell here in just a moment. Right now, everything's a little linear as it's a standard start, so we got to get through the escape sequence first. So this takes roughly about 5 to 6 minutes on average, depending on how quick you are with navigating around and how much the guards hang you up.
Yep, all four making pretty good time so far, so we get the lamp. Alright, thanks, game. Sure.
So we'll say rip dark rooms.
Yeah, I mean, in the standard, the game will give you the lamp cone of light in escape. Whether or not you have the lamp, just because otherwise it would give you the lamp super early every time, which is a little funky with logic. And that cone of light remains there, even after you leave and decide to come back a later time for whichever reason.
Yep, that is just one of the modifications that Standard has. And we get the flippers in Zelda Cell, so fake flipper is out of the question.
Yep. So is Houlihan, for the moment. And because the cone of light is always there in the back of escape rooms, in standard, it is in fact actually in logic to have to, because the randomizer can't know if you're gonna find bombs early, before coming out of escape. Like, it assumes that you get bombs and can't have to backtrack all the way back through. There is no glove or lamp requirement to get the back of escape chests in standard. Because the cone of light is always there. Even if to make a return trip, I have seen standard seeds, where you had to backtrack. There was no bomb drops early, there was no boots, but you had to go, but the back of escape was locking your glove.
And that's never fun. And
Nope.
it looks like we're gonna get ready to see the back half of the castle now, so get ready to go through the throne room now, so we're gonna be taking a dip into the sewers.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, everybody knows in this setting, the world will open up once we come out of Sanctuary.
Yep. Typically, as standard, you'll see runners, well, after escape, come out of the sanctuary, go to Kakariko, do those checks, and then typically head for South Shore. Since you're already on the northern half of Hyrule, you might as well go check out. There's a small key. We knew it had to be there, just kind of lost track. It's pretty common to come out of Sync and head for Kak since you're in northern Hyrule, and there's a lot of checks in Kakariko.
That there are, and I also anticipate a lot of people will probably check the Lost Woods and Lumberjack area first before detouring to Kak.
Lost Woods guaranteed, Lumberjack maybe, but Lost Woods and like the checks just south of Kakariko, so Race Game and the library I also count as part of the general Kak area, because you always do those together.
Oh, indeed, and we get the Moon Pearl in the first check of the back of Escape. We're already looking at some Dark World access items here. We're well on our way.
Yeah, not the worst escape in the world, not the greatest either. We got a lamp and a Moon Pearl, you'll take that, but we've also seen better. Well, lamp, Moon Pearl, and flippers is not the worst. Yeah, alright, no gloves, no hammer, no bow yet, but that's not too bad at the moment.
I give it about a 6 out of 10.
Yep, 6-minute flat for Danny, Slumber and Aku and Leslie shortly behind. Just some more money there in Sanctuary. That is bottle vendor money, at least.
Now, what will be interesting to see is if we get a bottle out of this deal, because that will wrap up the Kakariko checks very nicely.
It will. Also, that was a map check from, I think, Danny. That is a blue pendant on Desert today.
Leslie Pro with a tree pull, some bloopies out of that, and we're in the Lost Woods as well. And we are going to get some bombs, and in the drop down is a red rupee. And I did not see what was on Lumberjack, so we're going to take a look at Leslie here and see what the reveal is.
Leslie's the only person who's checked Lumberjack. I think that's some arrows.
Yeah, it looked like it, but I couldn't tell because of the screen cut off.
Yeah.
If it is indeed arrows, then Aga 1 is partially dead, but we still may need Aga for full Dark World access.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we're taking a look down here in the hideout on Slumberjack and Akuhish.
Akuhish,
yeah, Hish.
Let's see what this is. Ice Rod!
Ice Rods, bombs. And the mirror!
And a mirror!
Nice.
That's pretty nice. And the last check is some more bombs. Okay.
Alright, we're now getting ready to check the well here as Leslie Pro finally makes it to the hideout to pick up his items. And we're going to see a bloopy. And what's inside the cave here? A red rupee. So we're just getting some money.
Mm-hmm.
Swords.
Master Sword.
Master Sword level now. And
Yeah, nothing else. Speaking of Aga for Dark World access, we have 2 swords in a lamp. Game?
Bottle vendor just got some coin there.
Negative 50% return, not the worst, definitely not the greatest.
Agreed.
Negative 50% return being not the worst is saying something, but the bottle vendor does tend to be a bit scammy.
And the Cuckoo Hut has only a piece of love.
Yep. Yeah, Aga 1's in logic. They don't want it to be in logic, but it's in.
Alright, and we're going to check out the tavern, see what the bartender has for a refund here, and it's a shield!
Alright, I guess it's an item, technically. Not the one you really want to see, though. At this point, you're more looking for a glove or a hammer.
Agreed, so not much help there. And now we'll see what's boots locked in the library here.
A shovel, okay.
Ooh, that could be troublesome. We may need to come back for that later.
Hmm? Oh, and there's a glove race game!
And that is one of the many reasons why I opt to do the blind race versus checking it first, because in a situation like this, you're doubling back to actually go do the race itself, and it costs you a little bit of time.
On average, it saves you time because most of the time it's junk in non-key sanity modes. In key sanity, you absolutely go for this because the odds are very good it's got something, but in regular modes, it's actually not that required. Shovel, by the way, if we do end up eating it, it's at least in a pretty convenient spot. You get it and run right on over to Stumpy. They just hope they don't need to get it.
Very true, and now we're going to see some South Shore checks here as we're headed toward the dam from Lumberjack. And it looks like Kuhish did a save and quit and is...
He's off to Death Mountain, is where they're going.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Slumberjack over in the dam, so we're going to see what that is.
Yep, Danny and Leslie close behind.
Looks like we just got a pack of 300 rupees there, so that's going to close to Zora money.
Well, this is also going to be a Lumberjack check. Yep, that's arrows for Aku. Death Mountain's generally a pretty decent idea with mirror.
And the fire
rod
is hiding in the water, so there's both of our rods. And we'll see what Mini Moldorm has here in just a hot second, as Akuhish is now going up the mountain, which I can't really blame the call here, because with the mirror, you could do a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we have the fire rod and the ice rod this early in the game could be scary, because that could be indicative of a necessary TR dip.
Mm-hmm. Bloomerang! Bloomerang Cape, I didn't quite figure out what the item was on the NPC. It looked really odd, and junk.
Gary the Old Man had some rupees, 300 pack, and we got the blue ring, the red cape, I think that was Arrow.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out, because it's a little bit fuzzed out, and I couldn't quite tell what item that was.
Yeah, it was a bit fuzzed out on my screen as well, so I'm taking a guess that it was the Arrow, because it didn't
yeah, but,
yeah.
Jeff, I was just listing off the items that were in Mini Moldorm Cave, and you decided to list them off again? Thanks
for sorry.
Anyway, Ice Rod Cave time. Spectacle Rock not having all that much.
Ice Rod Cave, here we go.
Yep, there it is, in fact, 10 arrows. That was actually pretty clear on Leslie's side. That's some heart piece. I caught a red crystal on TR, and I think the red pendant on Skull Woods. I did not catch the rest of the Dark World map check for Aku. Danny finding not much in the Waterfall Ferry.
I do believe he did find a shield.
Oh, okay. I still call that not much. Okay, Green Pendant Skull Woods, pendant. Oh, it was Green Pendant Skull Woods. I can't read. Pendant Thieves, And then there are 5-6 crystals with Tiara. Nice. Okay, thanks, Mad. There's the big key for Aku. And is Zora a scam today? Bits are on the Lake Hylia Island. Good catch. Blared!
And the hobo is going to give up a piece of love. Just a little love.
Zora is a scam again. And Mitts on the Lake Island means we need Hammer or go to Aga for Dark World access. Aga's entirely in logic. We have 2 swords, a lamp, fire, even a cape, fully in.
And Aku gets the compass for the dungeon and Power of Hera, as I believe gonna be doing the drop down to get that big chest here in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and there's the setup. So let's see what gets pulled from the big chest in Tower of Hera. And it is just a red rupee. Ugh.
Wow.
At this point, we are ready for a Moldorm fight. Or should I say Trolldorm fight?
We'll see how truly Trolldorm is today.
And here we go. Moldorm fight. Ring the bell. Here we go. And of course, with the Master Sword spins, that's going to take it up to Tempered, and we take a fall. So not starting out too good there.
Nope. Zora giving us $20 means that we got a negative 96% return on him today. Not very good.
Oh, that sounds like a horrible investment.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen Hyrule's investment rates of return? The bottle vendor was negative 50%.
And Trolldorm finally goes down, and what is hiding?
A small key.
The basement key.
Yeah. Hey, Chad, I was not quite paying enough attention. Did we see the map and compass? I remember we saw 1 red rupee in the big chest. I don't know if we've seen the second item in Hera.
We did not, because he pulled the compass from the small chest on the same floor as the big chest. So we'll be going back inside.
Well, did we see the... okay, and I assume we saw the map. I wasn't sure if we had. Because it could have been the map in the basement.
Yeah, we did see the map, so we are definitely going back downstairs, because we need that item.
Alright, thanks.
Yeah, we might get a little coffee break action here.
Nah, we're definitely getting coffee break action. Good old Hera basement.
Wasn't sure if we saw what was inside Spec Rock earlier, but if not, it was only a full heart container.
Aku peeked it earlier.
Meanwhile, Leslie Pro looks like going over toward the eastern area. Could be a Saha check.
Definitely Saha, possibly front of Eastern as well. I think the runners are going to do Eastern and Hera first before going for Aga 1. Mitts are on the Lake Island, but you also just need to do Hera anyway, and it's fully accessible as you get 10 arrows in the basement, Heart Piece, Green Rupee, and the Quake Medallion out of Saha's hut. Yeah, this is looking like Aga.
I do believe we have an Aga seed.
Well, it's not yet confirmed. We still have remaining checks are... well, let's see, we have not seen...
We have
not seen the front of Eastern. Leslie chose to safe put out of there, so we have not seen the front of Eastern. We have not seen Nagina. Those are really the 2 big things at this moment, to be honest. But the front of Eastern and Nagina seem to be main 2 things. Leslie decided I'm going for Aga. Also fair enough. Decides maybe he wants a bit more than just Hera when he does go up the mountain, and knows that there is a Mitts on the Lake Island. And he's setting up for the bomb jump here in Hera. Saves the time of going all the way around. Up and then back down again. Nicely done.
And Leslie is actually doing the Aga climb right now, so good luck.
That's not that bad. Six hearts, Master Sword, has a lamp. It's not really that much of an issue for Leslie. Yeah, Leslie are first of our runners to head for Aga. About 19 minutes here as the others as Slumber and Danny go through Hera and Aku is doing South Shore. No Man's Sunshine, I think ordinarily people might hold off on Aga longer, but Leslie knows that this is Mitts on Lake Island, so the odds of it being hard Aga are just going up. From Leslie's perspective, there's only 5 checks on the mountain available. Old Man, Spectacle Rock, 2 checks, and the 2 in Hera. Eastern has a maximum of can be as little as 1 item for Lux Sucks, and Agahnim is just super out of the way, so it makes and with the Mitts on the Lake, you might as well do it.
And Slumberjack now picking up his crystal from Tower of Hera, so it looks like the only person waiting to do that is Danny Music. And Leslie Pro did not go up to the tower.
Nope, as mentioned, chose to do Aga instead, which, well, we've discussed is not a bad idea.
No, it is not a bad idea, but I think I still might have taken the easy crystal.
Both make sense, honestly. It's kind of up to you, really.
But in a situation like this, it is early on, so it is still anybody's race at this point, so...
Oh, absolutely.
Alright, and it looks like Leslie Pro is ready for the Aga fight, so we'll be ready to ring the bell on that fight here in just a moment. And... there's the bell. Wonder how many blue balls of death we're going to get from Aga 1. Alright, and Aga 1 is dead. It did not look like Leslie enjoyed having to do that fight, but the fight is indeed done for Leslie, and we are on the pyramid. We'll see if we get a map check here. We do. Crystal on Pod, 5-6 on TR. Ooh,
we already saw this.
I missed the map
Aku
check
did it a while ago. Aku did it a while ago because you can do that on top of Spectacle Rock. And it's marked on our trackers. But yes, Green Pendant, Skull Woods, Pendant Thieves, Red Crystals on Swamp. No, sorry, Ice and TR are our red crystals today. Yeah, there's mitts for Leslie. Oh, Leslie taking death to a Hinox here in the potion shop area. That feels bad. Trying to take the pearl to get over to Catfish, if memory serves, but Hinox decided to not play dice, so back to the pyramid. That feels really bad. Aku is actually in the front of Eastern while we were just looking at Leslie's side, getting a big key there. No idea what he got in first chest. And Leslie's just gonna go the long way around here. Eastern first was 20 rupees, thank you. And that's the map. There is an... Let's see, there's 2 items remaining as well as the map. Let's see if one of those items is behind the bow on Armos Knights. Well, that's some arrows in the big chest. Okay. Catfish, just some more money. Second from Leslie, Summer's on Aga 1 now. And Danny's heading for Pod. No, it's first. Oops. Losing track of things a smidge. And that's some bombs, so the map is on the Armos Knights, and Eastern was completely useless. Unless the hammer was on the Gina, this was a hard required Aga seed. Well, I guess hammer, boots, or boots or shovel, I guess, probably mostly, or like the book, I guess, might be the things that would unlike more checks in late roll, but this seed, like, it was almost certainly Naga seed. And yeah, this does feel bad for Aku, doing Eastern for nothing, unfortunately, hoping to skip back a 1. This was not the play. Graveyard Ledge coming for Leslie. Summer is retrieving their mitts, and Danny just finished Saha's hut. Looks like Aku is really trying to avoid Aga, because here's a Nagina check. That's a mirror bonk, and really, ow, that feels bad for Slumber. Majorly mirror blocking on the Lake Island and has to reset. That feels bad. And Agina was useless, confirming that this was in fact a hard Aga seed. Let's see what Pod has for Danny. No hammer, no bow, so there is a limited amount of stuff available in here. And that's a key, at least. Well, this is Aku resigning themselves to. This is an Aga seed. I guess I'm going. Fine, game, fine. Oddbridge chest is another small key. Front of Skullwoods here for Leslie. It is a green pendant, but these are some pretty early quick checks. We'll see if there's anything here. As there we go, there's the meds from Slumberjack. Friend of Pod giving keys and the boss key to Danny, so nothing much. Not surprising, that's how Pod goes. And it looks like Leslie is just going to go to the back of Skullwoods. It's a pendant, but it is the green pendant, and I guess, why not? Is there logic here? Not like they have too much in the way of pendant crystal dungeons available right now to get the key in the bridge chest. Can't get into. We've seen Hera, can't finish Eastern, can't finish Pod, can't get into Swamp. Really, without a hammer. Ice is not current. Ice is an idea, actually. We do have mitts and flippers and a fire rod now. Mire is inaccessible and TR is inaccessible. Is that the sprite that Chef from Burger Time? I thought it looked kind of like a cow, but actually now that you mention it, yeah, I think that might be a chef sprite of some kind. I am not familiar with that particular one. I also have no idea what Danny's playing as. Nothing much in the Village of Outcasts so far for Slumberjack. Yeah, goes with the Pod here for Danny. There's the book. Okay. Severely out of logic right now, but there's a book. And a heart container. And that's that. Pod turning up the book and not much else of interest that I can remember, at least. Friend of Thieves here for Slumberjack. Yeah. Once Danny does get over to the Village of Outcasts area, he's going to be able to check ahead as Leslie gets their green pendant. They can, in fact, well, Danny can even blindfold Pet if he really felt like it. As the pet is accessible, not in logic without at least a bow, but it is accessible. Jeff, what do you think of these item placements so far?
It's very interesting at the moment right now, as we get the big key on Danny music there.
I agree with Chad. This does smell a fair bit like an Aga ped seed. Just the fact that our pendants are desert, Skullwoods, and Thieves Town with the early items for all three. We're only a bow, really, from putting pendant logic, and that's kind of concerning. There's the other item in Skullwoods, just some bombs for Leslie, so that was not helpful unless the green pendant is required. And he's now in the village area. The game was useless for Slumberjack. Hammer on Ped would be hilarious, yeah. Smith chain here for Slumberjack. Mirror makes this nice and easy. Just some more bombs. I mean, almost anything could be on pet that's not the first bow at this point. Because we only saw 3 keys in the big key in the front of pod that weren't bow locked. So yeah, well, in any case, yeah, the back of pod is bow locked by the right side. That is in the smiths. Chat, bow does lock mirror right now. Does lock desert because desert requires either mitts and a mirror, mitts, flute, and mirror to go from the mire area, or just the book because we don't have a flute. Who knows where that is? I'll be not giving much for Slumberjack here. Run of Thieves for Leslie, and Aku's off to this area as well. Book goes in the pod maze, which is locked behind all 6 keys, and there were keys on right side there. Wasn't keeping track of exactly all the keys. I know there was at least one on right side because there was the big key in the non-Bullock checks. Lumberjack here, actually going to check the very first chest of swamp. Is in the area for Hype Cave anyway, might as well go see what this is. The rest of swamp is hammerlocked, you can't get past the first couple of rooms without it, but hammer has turned up in that first check a few times before, it's always fun. There's also no hookshot, but hammer's the bigger problem right now as far as getting anywhere in swamp. Back of Thieves is new for Leslie. 245 was indeed chunk. Game! Wow! Speak of the devil, they shall appear. There's a hammer in the first check of swamp. Really, really good find for Summerjack. That is as mentioned previously, and the rest of it's hammerlocked, so most people don't want to do that without it. But hey, what do you do? That's a really stupid spot for hammer. Type Cave is more like Tripe Cave. Absolutely nothing in it. But yeah, that hammer's a really, really good find for Slumberjack. Professor Renderer, the hammer is in the first chest of swamp. Alright, Sparrow Cave and more of East of Town, really, for Slumberjack here with the hammer. That is Thieves done for Leslie. I don't think there was anything in it of interest, and Naku's gonna find much the same of nothing as Danny heads for Agina and Desert. Really thinking about that bed at this point. Jeff, you alright there? Haven't said much in the last while. Also, thank you for the clip, Old Man Sunshine, about that hammer. Let's see what Paradox Cave has here for Slumberjack, as in what Desert has for Danny. Both are new checks. 50 bucks. I think it's 300 bucks. And that's a King of Samaria on the first chest of Desert. It's boots locked, but that's a good find. Also, that was a bottle was the only thing in Paradox Cave. Yay. This game gets more and more and more spaghetti by the minute. Super Bunny, Heart Container, and the Last Shield. Really, really useful. I mean, there still can be some things unpad. It could be either flute or bow, one of which needs to turn up to give us desert access, but the other could be padlocked. Could be our hookshot, could be a medallion. Still missing some items here. Anyhow, mostly just seeing checks we've already seen from our runners, as Danny does the front of Skull Woods. Leslie's into Swamp, and Slumberjack and Nakuhaisha doing some overall checks. Yeah, hammer incoming for Leslie, gonna be a really good find as Slumber does hammer pegs. We'll see if Aku routes in that hammer here soon. And Leslie's doing something new. We have not seen the rest of the front of Swamp yet because Slumber got the hammer and promptly bailed. Nothing in hammer pegs. I don't know, Finch, honestly. I think at least for Slumberjack, he had things to do. That hammer unlocked a bunch of checks, while Leslie is starting to run a little bit lower on checks as far as things are going, so might as well continue and stop looking for items. Vanilla hookshot would be mean, but I think it is a possibility as of right now. Nothing there in the compass chest. And here's a mouth for Danny. Now for Aku, Leslie is heading for left side swamp. That's Skullwood's done for Danny, and Slumberjack just did the Attic of Thieves. Yep, Desert is boots locked. Danny found the Cane of Samaria in the first check, and well, that's that for the moment. Yeah, could be hookshot on the pad, could be one of bow or flute. Only one of them is required to get us logical desert access. Could be there could be medallions on there. Could be the hookshot. A few different things that we have not seen that could be desert. Scout Town, yes, desert can be cleared without boots if keys are in certain chests, but in this case, the only available check without boots. There's a bow on the pad! Game! So, where's Flute? As we get a French vanilla hookshot in left side swamp, this scene really sucks. Great. For context, by the way, chat, the book is in the back of Pod. It's bow locked. So we either need to find the flute for desert access to, as well as boots someplace to get the head bow, or we need to find the other bow someplace. Professor Render is saying he's glad that he decided to bail. Yep, I don't blame you. This is looking more and more ridiculous by the minute. It's Aga, it might be Ped, it's apparently a whole variety of spaghetti, and just both Hammer and Hookshot being in the swamp is just mean. Chad, where do you think the other boat went off to? Scout Town, they had to do Agahnim for the Darkhold access today, as we get a powder and the map in the back of Swamp. Yeah, we guarantee need to find boots. If we want to consider Ped, if Ped is going to be a thing, that also means that Flute has to be available someplace to get us desert access, because our book is bow locked. We have no idea where the other bow is. Desert's boot's locked as well, and Desert's one of our pendants. There's a whole mess of stuff. And, hi, Sorcerer Finch. Jeff unfortunately has had to leave, so Sorcerer Finch is joining me instead. I know I've seen you in chat, so welcome to the comms booth.
Thank you, Star. How are you doing tonight?
Not too bad. Glad to have somebody, because keeping track of 4 people solo is hard, as Leslie finishes off Swamp.
It is, especially with this seed that we've had so far. With a Swamp Hammer, with a Swamp Hookshot, just... It's been an adventure, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Probably. Well, we still don't know if it's Ped. Depends entirely on where Flute, Boots, and the other boat have gone off to.
That's a good point. It actually looks like Akahaish is dipping into desert right now. May be locked out depending on where those boots are, which, although knowing the seed, boots are probably in desert. Oh, okay. So I apologize. Danny has already been into desert with that cane of Samaria. But that does tell Akahaish that the boots are required to do the rest of this dungeon.
Yep, and also knows that, and that's also a cane find, which is really important. We're slowly starting to run out of things to do, actually. We've seen most of Eastern, we're boots locked out of Desert, we've seen most of Pod, we've seen all of Swamp. Skullwoods and Thieves are done. It's looking like Ice is our next play, just because I'm not sure where else they're going. It's Ice or maybe TR if they can get in the door with Quake.
Right, and either one of them would be a pretty decent play. I mean, I would rather do Ice just to try and preserve being able to save Turtle Rock for last, but...
Yeah, but TR on the other hand has more checks at the same time. I mean, it's... If you can, which is itself a little tricky with that hammer placement, I would check the Thieves, but the TR medallion with the rest of... well, actually, don't even need to hammer check the medallion, just need to check it while you're on the mountain with mitts. See what it is, just for knowledge. Nobody's checked this green pendant, no. Skullwoods was a green pendant, and Fire Rod was really early.
That's a little bit... I guess on one hand, that's a little bit surprising at this point, but it is, at this point, a pretty far-off check, and you don't have a bow right now. So, you really don't want to have to go that way without a flute to just be able to get away.
Yep. This is actually Leslie's first trip up. The first time rescuing the old man here. Yeah, never, because Leslie rushed Aga really early, so never did come up here first trip. Let's see what else they find up here. How's this? Hammer and hookshot, so gets more than the usual.
Right, and so it definitely feels like in this seed, rushing Aga is definitely the quicker way, just because now Leslie can do all of Death Mountain. I think Dark Death Mountain's in play. Yeah, I think everything's in play here for you, except for, yeah, no, that's everything. The only caveat is Death Mountain's a little bit tougher with a little bit tougher, at least on the Light World side, but still doing all right.
Yep.
And Graveyard Ledge just with those bombs on Danny's side.
We have seen King Zora. He was a scam, giving us, I believe, negative 96% return.
Whew, that's a pretty rough investment right there.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
All right, and Leslie into Hera.
Yeah, 20 rupees on King Zora, I think, is a negative 96% return.
Oh dear. So one of the interesting things that Slumberjack and Leslie have going for them is they have access to Thieves Town big chest also now with that hammer.
Yep. Oopsies! Leslie threw the pod of the beetle and fell down the pit, so back up they go.
Ah, don't you hate it when, it's one of those where, for the majority of the pits in the game, you lose a heart as you fall, and you stay on that floor. That's definitely not the case here in Tower of Hera, where you can fall 1 or 2 floors, as it were.
Yeah.
And that second floor, you really never want to fall down.
No.
All right, but at this point, that hammer really is kind of locking everything. Danny checking out Ice Rod Cave here.
Mm-hmm. One concern for me, actually, is that Slumber bailed after the hammer, which made sense for him at the time, because he had a lot of other things to do, especially with the new hammer, but that hookshot's just so... Left side swap is such a bad spot for hookshot, especially if you already dipped for the equally terrible hammer.
Right. All right, and we're about to get some simultaneous boss fights. Agahnim getting the pun from Blind, and has to be a little cautious. Green mail and 2.5 hearts, but does have the cape ready to go. And actually appears to be on a very good pattern right now with Blind. Meanwhile, Leslie is fighting Moldorm and takes down Moldorm. Well done, simultaneous boss kills.
Yep, and as 2 runners finish their dungeons, Danny enters a new one. That's what Ice has.
All right. Yeah, Ice with its 3 items. We'll see what we can pull out of here. The best thing that I can think of would be the bow. Another bow would be preferable, and having boots would just be nice quality of life. And flute. We'll see what's. I'm guessing our racers did check what was in the basement of Hera. All right, and Danny is going ahead and preparing for the icebreaker trick right here. We'll be full clearing it, so not bothering to hit the switch right here. And yeah, for the question for who's in the lead, Leslie maybe, but honestly, chat's in the lead right now.
Oh, chat's always in the lead on scenes like this, as we get Bombo's tablet for Akuhaishi is a red rupee.
All right. And Danny is having to skip that check right there, and is also going to be missing out on the key. Does get the big key, but that is going to send Danny back to the start.
Yeah, Danny and Akuhaishi have not even stepped foot in Swamp. They don't want to do so without a hammer. I don't blame them. Unfortunately, well, the hammer's in Swamp.
Right. This is
secondary
definitely
to the hammer problem is the hookshot problem. It's also in Swamp because it's really just a really mean seed.
right. Yeah, I think at this point our racers wouldn't mind at least blue mail at this point.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. And Chad asking about how many glitches are allowed. I believe ALTTP runs on a modified RMG rule set, was it?
I think so, where you can do like some door extension tricks like Icebreaker in order to kind of be able to skip a good portion of Ice Palace, or the navigation through Ice Palace to be able to do the dungeon. I don't know if backwards is quite the right try. Danny Music, by the way, getting a nice Ice Palace bomb jump right there.
Very nicely done. Yeah, Swamp is at least a crystal. It'd be worse as a pendant, but it still sucks. That bottle for Leslie reminding me we haven't seen Sick Kid yet either.
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, we haven't. That's a good point then. All right, and as Leslie climbs Death Mountain, and we will get to know what the requirement is to enter Turtle Rock. Now, Leslie does not have the Canis Samaria in Desert, so will not really be able to go into Turtle Rock. Having that knowledge is still going to be very worth it, just in the, do I need to look for a medallion, or... yeah, we'll go ahead and check out what we have here, and we need ether. We do not have the right medallion.
No, we don't, and who knows where ether is.
Now, the good news is there are 6 checks available right here for Leslie as well, and 4 pretty quick checks as well. Or, sorry, 6 pretty quick checks right here. As we look in our Super Bunny Cave, we get a nice heart container right there, and the mirror shield. So there's our 3rd shield. And there's ether. Danny Music doesn't know it yet, but that ether is going to grant access to Turtle Rock. All right, and let's check out what is in Hookshot Cave today. And really not a whole lot of anything. So at this point, Leslie has 2 places to go. Definitely needs to go to Desert Palace for that Canis Samaria, and then also to Ice for that ether.
Yep.
But we'll also get a check of. I think this was only 20 rupees, though, if I remember correctly.
It was something I have long forgotten. Yeah.
At least I don't think it was anything important at all.
It was not. Someone asking in chat, welcome in. As with most Zelda games, rando or not, we're looking to be Ganon, basically. To do that, we need to collect 7 crystals from 7 dungeons and access Ganon's tower. And we need items to do those dungeons, which is our current sticking point. The
Yes,
items have not been in the greatest spots.
They've been a little bit rough. We do need. At this point, we do have an okay picture of what we still need, though. We still need the boots. The boots are somewhere probably close by. Where do you think the boots are going to turn up, Star?
That's a really good question. I'm suspecting it's likely in TR by now. We've seen Ice, we've seen most of Ice, we've seen most of our other available dungeons, honestly. There's not that much left.
Oh, we do still have the green pendant turn in. That's right. Danny's heading over towards Sassarola.
Green Pendant Pyramid's Berry is available. We can be nice, although only Leslie and Slumber have the items for it.
Yeah.
Oh, Green Pendant's just bombs. Thanks, champ.
And that is a good and it looks like Leslie and chat bringing up, is Leslie going to check out that Thieves Town big chest? This is a good play because it's only one check, but my goodness, it burns if you're running low on checks, and this has been available for probably 15 minutes at this point for Leslie, would you say? 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah, it's been quite a while because he's had that hammer for quite some time. At least now for Slumberjack, who is going to be our first to finish this place, since he does, have a hammer. I'm thinking that Agahnim and Danny should be running out of checks pretty fast here, so I think they're going to get stuck forced to go to Swamp soon, just because they have nothing else left to do.
Right, and as Leslie makes their way through, just honestly zooming through the dungeon, because they already defeated Blind, already got the good pun, and Jaxie putting a reminder in for everyone, please be sure to follow our racers who are putting on a fantastic race, especially for this wonderful seed for everyone. It is just a bottle in Thieves Town Big Chest.
Not helpful, game. Not helpful.
No, not particularly. So I think you're right. I think we're gonna find progression in Turtle Rock. I don't think there's really anywhere else that we've got.
Yeah, we've seen the Eastern and Pod were Boots locked out a desert. We can't get into Maya without a flute, and we've seen most of the overworld by now, really.
Oh, we do have hammer pegs actually right now.
No, we saw that earlier.
Oh, okay.
Slumberjack did get that one.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if anyone's checked Sickit either. I hope Leslie gets that soon here. Oh yeah, Magic Bat I forgot exists. The powder did turn up in the back of Swamp.
Swamp really has been Swamp is the play, unfortunately, or fortunately or unfortunately, depending on who you're asking.
I think it's unfortunate for everyone but Leslie at this point, as we get just the heart piece there on the bat.
And as Agahnim makes their way through to the back of Skull Woods to grab that green pendant, which we do know isn't really anything worthwhile.
Nope. At least not for now. We still can't confirm either way on whether or not the bow on pet is required. Sick, just some bombs. Okay. Yeah, TR time, I think.
Yep. So, but that means Leslie needs to first go to Desert and
Get that cane.
right. I'd say there is a good amount still of kind of backtracking that's needed for the seed. It does look like Leslie's heading that way though, fortunately. Or no? No. Okay, so
Where is Leslie going? I'm actually not sure. I don't believe we picked up a powder at any point. Potions?
possibly. Or did we pick up a mushroom at some point?
Not that I know of. I guess potions maybe for ice, yeah, but... oh yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
forgot Leslie hasn't done ice yet. Actually, that's probably where they're off next.
Yeah, and Green Mail, especially Green Mail, Vitreous, Master Sword, it is very understandable. And Echo Heish gets the news about that bow being on Ped, and
Yep.
all right, and Danny's about to get the news, and there is the hammer for Danny. Now, Danny is continuing on, so this will net Danny the hook shot, powder. This is going to be a good play on their side. Meanwhile, Slumberjack is about to fight Cold Stare here.
Yeah. I just hope Danny sticks around as a hammer. I think he will, just because it's not. But because it's not. He's done enough stuff that it's not a ton that the hammer unlocks. Because that is currently Slumberjack's problem. I don't know when Slumberjack's getting back to Hookshotless Swamp. Slumberjack was easily the first runner there, but understandably bailed after the hammer, and I don't know when they're getting Hookshot.
Yep.
Our most nice is the compass, I think.
Very nice Cold Stare fight, though, and does grab that crystal.
Yep.
All right, and something that you actually that you don't often see usually kind of during these seeds at this point is doing Swamp Palace vanilla, without a hook shot, without like getting the key from down here and kind of doing this dungeon how it's supposed to be played, funnily enough.
Ether is in ice, so Leslie will be getting that in a few minutes. Aku also heading into Swamp now. And Danny is sticking around, as mentioned. Hammer doesn't unlock that much, all things considered, so you might as well clear out more of Swamp.
And one of the nice things with Leslie's route is after getting that ether, does know that Turtle Rock is just about available. And Slumberjack getting the bad news about the bombs there, and Akuhaish also entering Swamp, so we'll be picking up that hammer momentarily.
Yep. Yes, Leslie did Magic Bat. There was absolutely nothing of interest on it. And it looks like Slumberjack has also gotten bottlenecked back to Swamp, which is good. So, triple Swamp and ice, okay.
All right.
Yeah, hour 13 minutes into a casual seed. We're going nowhere fast.
All right. Leslie using the hook shot on those hearts because sometimes the game thinks, oh, you picked up hearts on 2 frames, so I should give you 2 hearts instead of 1. It's a nice trick, especially if you could use some of those hearts. Ice Palace is pretty unforgiving and uses just a lot of magic as well. So, oh, okay. And I think, was that the first time that we saw Tablet down there?
No, we've seen both tablets.
Okay.
Casual just means standard assured sword. It usually tends to be a little nicer since you do have a set starting sequence. And the starting sword is also nice, but it Casual is also usually played in conjunction with starting with boots. Today we don't have the boots, and unfortunately the boots are completely missing. As it turns out, but that is how this goes sometimes. Casual boots, just regular casual, not being the nicest mode. Hour 14 with several crystals left to beat is the usual. Usually you have a bit more than three. Nobody even has 3 crystals. 2 crystals max between our runners at an hour 15.
Now the thing is, because a lot of things are at this point kind of locked with the bow and everything. So I think now that everyone's getting the hammer hook shot, that's going to get everyone over towards getting crystals kind of knocked out much quicker at this point, especially as folks start making their way up to Turtle Rock. And Leslie does have to burn one of their greens. Did run out of magic. And there's Slumberjack's Cane of Samaria. Did Slumberjack pick up the Ether Medallion?
I don't know. I don't think I saw a glimpse of that just now on their menu screen, but I could be wrong.
And the hook shot is in left side swamp. Is that correct?
Yep. Hookshot is left side swamp. The book is in the back of pod. That's the whole reason behind the where's the other bow / where's the flute discussion, is because that bow and that book is bow locked. There's Ether for Leslie, iced tea. And
Meanwhile,
it's for Danny.
Yep, that was a very nice Argus fight. And actually, I think I just saw all dungeon items. So does that would imply that we've got an item in the Swamp Palace big chest that I don't remember if Leslie checked big chest.
Leslie backtracked. We're fine on that front.
Okay. All right, good. Also, that is crystal number 2 for Danny Music. GG.
Yeah, GG's at crystal number 2 at an hour 16 on a casual seed.
Right.
Like, most casual seeds, you're in Ganon's Tower by now on most casual seeds. Or close to it. Not getting your second crystal and looking for items for your other 5.
Right. All right, so Sunbird does have that Ether Medallion and will be the first into Turtle Rock. Leslie going ahead and taking down Cold Stare real quick. Is going to pull up the hammer. Hammer will do more damage than Master Sword, but it's a smaller hitbox, so pulling out the Fire Rod. Fire Rod does do a lot of damage to Cold Stare. So. And Cold Stare goes down. There we go. Well done, Leslie.
GG's, that is their 3rd crystal, as Lumberjack has gotten into TR, getting a key in the first check. We don't know if pet is required. We still haven't seen the second bow. We don't know where the flute is. We don't know where boots are. And those are all factors in the puzzle of what is our logic as far as pet goes.
And Slumberjack is going the correct way. Does remember that you have to go down if you do not have the hook shot in order to complete this puzzle.
Can't avoid in the pit like usual.
Yeah, the good news is there is a small turnaround spot right there. If you find that, whoops, I didn't mean to go this way. Opting to use the cape here so that you're going to get a refill. And there are the boots.
There's boots. Okay, that's something.
So there's boots, there's desert, there's bow.
No, we still can't get into desert logically. We don't have loot. Or the other bow. The book's in the back of Pod, Finch.
Oh. Well, we got out of logic. So then where the heck is logic then at that point, you know?
Probably back of desert? The shovel spot? I'm not joking, the shovel's on the library.
Oh,
Back of
no.
desert shovel spot where the rest of TR? A vanilla fling would be amazing at this point.
Right.
And
Well,
it's entirely possible.
and there's probably, and I don't think there are a whole lot of logical spots where it would not be, or they're running out of logical spots for it as well. I mean, Turtle Rock is probably our best chance for that.
Oh, was Pa not Bowlock Tabby Cat? Because I at least as far as I can remember, there was a big key. One of the non-Bowlock checks was a big key. And I mean it's Pod, and I know that the back of Pod is, and the maze is 6 key locked.
All right, and we are going to see lava chest from all of our runners, as that is where the Turtle Rock big key is going to end up being.
Yeah, pretty sure the dark maze is 6 key locked. Yeah. I'm sure. Apparently, we're wrong. If that's the case, then is Dark Maze 5 keys? Okay, never mind then. Thank you. I apparently have just been goofing Pod key logic today, and that book is not in fact locked. Thank you, chat. Proving me wrong. Sorry for the misinformation. Apparently, Ped is in logic for that though. Good to know. Keyboard key logic makes my head hurt at times.
Oh, pod logic in general is always sort of fun. And there's our first armor upgrade in Mimic Cave.
It's kind of terrible, honestly.
It's sort of, yeah, it's like one of those, like, well, it's a relief that it's finally there, but Mimic Cave is a fun place, but at least you're checking for it because you still have a lot of items to go for go mode. You are going to be making those checks. So I think all of our runners are going to be picking up Blue Mail. Just starting at the 1 hour, 21 minute mark.
Yeah. Anyway, continuing through Pod for Slumber, Danny's in there now. I think Aku's heading there as well, and Leslie's currently going to get their book in the next bit.
But the interesting thing is, because with these items, Slumberjack has to go to. Will Slumberjack go to Pod to get that book, or back towards Swamp to end up getting the hook shot?
Slumberjack does have the book. It's not marked, but you actually can't get the cane without the book this seed.
Oh, okay,
It's completely missing. Because the cane is in the first chest of desert. That's how we know it's boots locked.
Ah, okay, gotcha. And we've got the red meringue over in Laser Bridge. And there is the flute.
There's the flute. Alright. Well, hot bow logic or not, well, we have fun. And hey, tempered.
That's the best place for a tempered sword, honestly, because it is there's already a huge step up between Master Sword and Tempered Sword, and especially I think for Trinex, it's 5 slashes versus what, 8, 9 for Trinex, each Trinex head.
Something like that, yes. And Slumberjack did also take the safety door just in case.
It is a good call, especially you didn't know you were going to get tempered, which again does make things a little bit easier. But also still on regular magic, and you only get 8 shots total. And Yep. Icehead does leave a little bit there.
There we go. Leslie now in Eastern. Didn't find anything here as Aku gets into TR. So yes, it is looking very, very likely at this point that the bow on Ped is our first bow today because, well, we're running out of stuff, although I'm curious to see what Meyer has next, because that does give us Meyer access. And Desert X. And, well, Boots let us finish Desert, which is not so fun news.
Right. I mean, it's not a whole lot that opened up, but it's at least all in the same relative area. We also have bunk rocks as well, available to us as well.
Yeah, bunk rocks and the lovely, useful item that is a shovel on the library.
Right.
Oh yeah, this is a great scene for the viewers. Professor Render I know is very glad he did not end up playing this, because it's a pretty long one for a casual seed. King's Doom is available, yeah, with those boots.
All right, so Slumberjack not able to go far into Hookshot Cave. That is gonna work out in their favor, just because there really wasn't anything else. There wasn't anything in Hookshot Cave.
No, but it makes me worry still for Slumber because they were easily the first person into Swamp a very long time ago, but bailed after the hammer, unfortunately, and I have no idea when they're getting back there at this point.
Especially since the only thing at this point, because we are in no mode, the only thing that we could potentially find is the other bow, like in Bonk Rocks, or in Meyer area. But
or the back of Desert.
Oh, true, that too. And at that point, I don't know, with the seed kind of being as rough as it's been, Bonkrok's just being a piece of heart there. You already sort of have to do Desert for a bow. I guess you wouldn't want to complete it though, just to get silvers.
No. I know that Aku and Danny have read the pad. I have no idea if Slumberjack or Leslie did, as I'm reminded that Slumber never actually did peek Lumberjack. I think it's a blind pet pull and a blind lumberjack check here today for Slumber. Definitely blind lumberjack, might be blind ped. But yeah, we are in no mode. Flute and boots. Well, flute really was a big one, and TR finally getting his. Well, yeah, flute and boots really, yeah, because we couldn't get a bow without the boots. Finally putting us in no mode. Not the nicest of no modes, but it's a no mode.
Right. All right, and especially because it does also imply it's a required double dip of pod. Now getting to the back of pod, or getting to the boss towards pod isn't terrible from the front, at least. There are certainly worse dungeons to have to double dip.
Mm-hmm. Danny and Naku will both need to run back through ice at some point because neither of them had a hammer going to Cold Stair, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a good point. Danny does finish off the Trinex fight, though. Very well done.
Yep. Aku not too far behind as Leslie goes back. Is going to now get their cane.
All right, and let's check out what's in Meyer's shed. Was that our only accessible bow?
Probably.
So far.
Let's see. We have Pyramid Fairy, King. Pyramid Fairy, the checkerboard here. The other item in Desert. the 2 items in Meyer.
Right. Did you happen to see what the medallion requirement was for Meyer?
I did not, unfortunately. Wake, thanks, chat.
All right. Thank you very much, chat. And that is good news because that means that we do have Meyer access, as well as Lumberjack going ahead and probably finishing out Desert here, or at least trying to find the second item.
Mm-hmm. Since Slumberjack doesn't actually know what's on the ped, I'm not. If they find the second item anywhere that's not Landmost, I wouldn't be surprised if they bail, since at this point they don't know that ped is a thing, is required. I mean, they probably have to suspect ped is an idea at this point. There's just not that much left in the game, especially because Slumberjack does not have that hookshot. But yeah, I'm wondering.
And that's a feeling that it just feels bad. Like there's a critical item that blocks a decent amount, but of finishing dungeons, and where is it? It is a rough feeling. It is a rough feeling.
It is. Only Danny and Aku know about ped, I believe. I don't think Leslie's read the pedestal either, and I know Slumberjack is not.
And this has honestly also just been a fascinating race from I think we've had a couple momentum shifts, I think is probably the best way to phrase it, just because it looked like Slumberjack had a lead, and now Akuhaish and Danny have an advantage. Leslie's also pretty much there, only just now getting into Turtle Rock, though, it looks like. And Slumber, while is still giving us new checks and going up there, still looking for the hook shot.
Yeah, I don't know who's truly in the lead, because Leslie is more or less an entire TR behind at this point. Behind like Danny and Aku is a full TR behind Danny, more or less. A little bit less than that for Aku, considering that Danny and Aku still need to do finish ice. Slumber, I would guess, might end up last location in hookshot, because it's in left side swamp, and he's already been in there once for hammer without hammer hookshot. Boy, doesn't want to be back without a hookshot. Well, let's see. Oh, okay, never mind. There's the other bow. Alrighty.
All right. Well, okay. So it turns out that ped is not the only bow. Will our runners get the ped bow before the Meyer bow, though? That'll be an interesting question, but it might just be one for the philosophers at this point. And something that was brought up in chat, there was a really nice kill there in Slumberjack's side with the in that Wizrobe room right before this main arena, using the Cane of Samaria to take down a couple of the Wizrobes in a cross there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's item number 2 in Meyer, but we are very much in no mode. And there's the boots over on Leslie's side.
Bombing the chest. They are not happy about that boots placement. I wouldn't be either. It's been quite the troll seed.
It's definitely been it's been an experience.
That it has. And yeah. Only one of our 3 pendant dungeons actually required for items, but you end up in Skullwoods and Thieves Town because of where everything else went this seed.
Right, and they're it's still they are good plays, just with how far apart all the items are. Like I would definitely dip the pendant dungeons. Certainly
Oh yeah,
as well.
It made perfect sense. It just wasn't just didn't have anything in Skullwoods or Thieves today. Of course, the two accessible pendant dungeons are useless. It's the one that takes a bit of some effort to get into. Desert with that book placement that has the required item with Cane.
Right.
Also, that's a not great big key spot in my ear on the map chest.
Yeah, especially
And you
after.
do pretty much the entire front for it.
Right, and it's always after taking the time to do cutscene chest and be rewarded with a paper burrito there with that map. So, and if you're just joining us, the situation that we have kind of item-wise, Slumberjack did pick up a bow in Meyer, as has Danny Music, and Akahaish is about to pick up their bow, which actually has put Danny Music in go mode, and Akahaish is now in go mode as well.
Yeah.
So,
I would I think I would put the pair of them in the lead. They're close, but Danny is ahead out of the two. And I'm not sure on Leslie and Slumberjack. We'll see how long it takes Slumberjack to get back to that hook shot.
right. The question will be, will Leslie, because at this point Leslie will have access to Meyer after finishing up Turtle Rock, and Slumberjack working on the Vitreous Mini Eyeballs, using that magic as much as possible. And the good news about getting the bow late, if there is any good news, is you're sure to have a full quiver of arrows to put into Vitreous. 8 shots later, Vitreous goes down, has a key.
And that's that. The boomerang still sitting there for Slumberjack. But that is their 4th crystal. Wow, 4th crystal. My brain just still we're missing 3 in an hour 36. Yes, Jaxie, this scene was incredibly mean. First, Bo is in Meyer. To get to Meyer, you had to go to. Oh, okay. You had to get through Aga for Darkhold access, get a bow from the back of Pod to go to Desert to get your cane, pick up your mitts off of Lake Island, your hammer and hookshot out of first Chest of Swamp and Left Side Swamp, go to TR, get your boots on the Fire Rock side, and flee on Laser Bridge to finally get access to Meyer for your bow because the other one is on pad. It's such a bad logic chain this seed.
All right, and Slumberjack is going to give us Pyramid Fairy while we're over here. I think Slumberjack is going to pick up the hook shot before Leslie picks up the bow. However, just a virtue of being in the relatively same area, but we're gonna see.
Yep. Oh yeah, needed ice to get the medallion for TR as well. Thank you for the correction. But yeah, the 2 red rupees on the Pyramid Fairy. But yeah, you had to go everywhere for everything. Double dip a bunch of places and go to the swamp with no hookshot or hammer to beat the seed, apparently. There's a reason why we're still going at an hour 38 with a maximum of 4 crystals for any runner.
Yeah. All right, so where is Slumberjack going at this point? Oh, okay. Okay. Yep, just got that bow, so gonna go ahead and take down Pod, and still be on the lookout for the hook shot. Now, Slumberjack did, at this point, I believe, complete the rest of Pod except for King Helmasaur. So, and we'll be the first of our runners to take down Helmasaur.
Yep. Well, actually, no. Danny's already there.
That's a good point. Meanwhile, Vitreous goes down on Ekahaishi's side. Trinix goes down on Leslie's side.
But yes, all 4 runners pretty much full cleared pod, other than Helmasaur the first trip through, considering that the book was in the back. We have had 3 forfeits out of 14 entrants in this race. I don't blame them.
But this seed does have it all. Like, especially imagine what's going through the minds of everyone who did check pedestal, know that there's a bow there, and then gets the relief in Misery Mire that that's not the required bow, or that's not the first bow.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Danny Music using some poke strats right there against King Helmasaur. Takes 17 hammer hits to take off that mask. And then just 4 tempered sword swings. And down goes King Helmasaur for the first time on Restream tonight. Slumberjack right behind, though. They're going to high five in this room right here.
Yep. One about to get warped out, the other just coming in.
Yep, and that is crystal number 5 for Danny Music, GG. Meanwhile, Akahaish in Ice Palace. Leslie activating that flute and will probably be going to that mire area. So the question is, I think Leslie knows about the bow on Ped. Do they... I would imagine they would still work on Mire first, which would give them the good news. Oh, is going to go ahead and turn in that check that shovel, it looks like.
Makes sense. Chad asking whether or not Danny's beat ice. I don't believe he has, because both he and Akuhaish dipped into ice without the hammer quite a while ago, and I don't think Danny's been back.
Yeah, I don't believe Danny's been back either. And one of the nice things about Pod Eastern being crystals with having the bow and the mirror, you can do them right after each other. So both Danny and Slumberjack into Eastern, picking up an arrow refill. And let's see what is on the shuffle over on Leslie's side.
Just a heart piece. Danny is in go mode, as is Akuhaish. Slumberjack is short a hookshot. Leslie needs to go to Mire. And that's, Leslie's gonna get their go mode bow here in a shortly when Mire. Slumberjack needs to get back to Swamp, which I think they'll end up going there soonish, just for the lack of other things to do, I guess. They never did check Ped, so they might end up pulling that soon, I think, but we'll see.
All right, and Akuhaish able to save a little bit of magic using a little strategy there to be able to use sword beams as substitutes for fire rods hits.
Mm-hmm.
And Leslie is going to be... All right, so Leslie's going to be entering into and getting at least the big key, it looks like, for Desert. Will Leslie be finishing Desert for the bow?
I don't know. We never did actually see the second item in Desert. It is the small key on the torch and the compass and big key on right side. I am unsure why Slumberjack skipped the second item in Desert, but they did, so we might see it from Leslie at least.
All right. Meanwhile, Vitreous does go down on Akuhaish's side, and Danny Music is going to go ahead and take down Cold Stare. As Akahaish takes down Cold Stare, we'll be doing Pod and Eastern back-to-back for Crystals 6 and 7.
Okay, I think this is actually a pet check for Slumberjack. They have not done finished Desert yet. So they're gonna know it's not... They don't need to get silverism here.
Right.
We have seen Pyramid Fairy. It was a pair of red rupees.
All right, and Leslie, and you have chosen the Archer class, and that is the confirmation that it is a bow upgrade. Or a bow, I guess, if it's the first one. And it is looking like Leslie's going to go ahead and finish up Desert before Meyer. So, now I would imagine that Leslie would go ahead. I'm pretty sure Leslie will do Meyer, though, because the bow isn't required. You do have a Tempered Sword at least. Slumber picking up the shovel, which we know is just a piece of heart there. And Danny Music is on the way towards Vitreous not Vitreous, Cold Stare and Crystal number 7.
You are correct, man. Leslie does not know Bo is on Ped. Aku and Danny have known for a while. Slumber just found out. Leslie never did. And most giving us just a heart piece. And Leslie's third pendant. Gonna beat Meyer here anyway, so I doubt we'll see a ped pull from them.
All right, and it looks like Slumber is on the way back towards Swamp Palace. There is nothing left here, so yep, is making the way towards Swamp Palace. So we're gonna have pretty close go modes, I think, between Leslie and Slumberjack.
I think so. Any couple minutes ahead of Aku here. I think they'll be actually not sure what the finish order is going to be here, because Swamp is also Slumber's last crystal to note, and it is fairly quick to run through the back and go mode. Danny's definitely the first place on free stream. I'm not actually 100% sure between Aku and Slumberjack.
But that is Cold Stare going down on Danny Music's side for Crystal number 7. So I think we should play a game, Star. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. So I'd like to do a little thing. There are 21 chests and 1 torch in Ganon's tower. Where is that big key? I'm going to go with 22 because it feels appropriate for this nonsense.
So yeah, please put in a number between 1 and 22. Where is that Ganon's tower big key? I'm going to say that it is going to be in check number 10 tonight. So depending on routing, it could be, well, I guess depending on routing, it could be anywhere. And we have until Danny Music steps into Ganon's tower. Though other racers might find the key a little bit earlier and fewer checks, we're going to be going off of Danny's as the first to enter Ganon's tower.
Yep. That is almost sort down for Aku. Just one last. Actually, I think. Have they beaten ice? I actually have lost track a little bit. It says so on the tracker at least, but they are also pretty much near done.
Yes, Akahaish has beaten Cold Stare.
Okay, lost track a little. As there's Leslie's go mode. Slumber's about to hit go mode, and we're all almost done. Wahoo!
Yep. So, Leslie does still need the big key.
Unfortunately, that is the map chest, which is usually the last thing you check in your usual Meyer routing. Quite unfortunate.
Right. Now you might skip the cutscene chest and do that side first. But looks like we'll go ahead and do cutscene first. It does make for a little bit easier routing versus kind of looping back in and of its across yourself. But Danny is just a couple seconds away from Ganon's tower. And yeah, that is a good point, because Danny was the last racer to defeat Aga for the first time, and is the first into Ganon's tower.
Yeah. 149.15.
All right, and let's see how much hope we have tonight.
I can. Yeah, let's see this really bad. Nice room. And a smoky.
All right, so that is checks number 1 and 2.
Yep. Looking at the notes sheet, we're missing a couple bottles. Gold Sword, Vamos, Half Magic, and the Bug Net. Oh, and Burna. So not much, as check number 3 is also not it. We've just seen mostly a game and mostly items. Casual, not really living up to the name.
And Slumberjack is in go mode with that hook shot right there.
Yep. It does genuinely feel bad. I think it's been almost an hour and a half since Slumberjack was last here and is now back and is like, oh.
Oh, and there is that butter sword, by the way. Check number 7.
Dark Magician room. Alrighty. Definitely didn't need a pull pad for that. Silvers.
All right, and meanwhile, Akahaish is crystal number 7, so Akahaish is on the way to Ganon's tower. I think that's what, number 9 on Danny? On
No,
Danny's?
that's 8.
8, okay.
Because yeah, it's 2 in Hope Room, 3 in the Torch. Number 3 is a Torch. 4 through 7 in Dark Magician. 8 is the Fire Bar. 9 is the Fire Snake here.
Okay, thank you very much.
And nope, that's another bottle.
All right, so coming up is numbers 10 through 13 over in the randomizer room. The room that, if you're not doing rando, you're probably not going to be checking.
Yeah, no real reason to go in there unless you're really curious about the random bombable wall.
That's a good point. 10 is Bombos Medallion, 11 rupees, 12, 13 is another heart container. Okay, so Danny will be opting to do full right side from this point after checking rando room.
Mm-hmm. Half Magic is also probably in GT. We've genuinely seen almost every check in the game between our runners.
Right.
It could be behind the shroom. Otherwise, it's probably here in GT. Like, the longer we go on Danny's side, the more likely we're going to see the couple remaining items we haven't seen. It's not a lot.
All right, and that is crystal number 7 for Slumberjack. Well done. Danny having a little bit of trouble and fortunately had just enough magic. I think you can throw some bombs over there.
You can.
Okay, and 14 is the answer tonight. Check 14.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
So, Ulrich81, congratulations for guessing 14. Lucky number 14.
Jeez.
And
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
And yes, I think that's bottle percent for Danny. It's bottle percent for us. I've seen all the bottles on Restream as well as all the everything else.
Right. And Akahaish is on the right path. Will make up some time here, by virtue of getting going right side first. Now, Danny going to randomizer room and then bailing from there did save time instead of doing a full left side. Oh no, hold on. Okay, I guess Akahaish is going to go get the key from. Okay, good. Akahaish is going to get the key under the skull here.
Yep.
Or more conveniently, on the torch.
So per accounting method, it was check 14. Since Danny was the first to open that first in that room.
And it was the bottom right chest on the right side.
Yep. Yeah, Aku won't be getting Butter Sword. The worst of issues anyway, tempered. Tempered Ganon is fine. They open some extra chests on the climb, looking just in case there's a sword on the way.
Right. And at this point, the only thing that would really affect the final fight would be red mail. We still haven't seen that yet. And Ganon's Tower, there's not a whole lot more places it could be.
No, we've seen every single pendant and crystal dungeon. We've seen pretty much every overworld check. That's not the mushroom turn in. Really is just GT left for checks in the game. Buttersword is left side actually, Dark Magician room.
Yeah. And that is, by the way, Danny Music did go through the gauntlet, got a satisfying Wizrobe kill right there. Akuhaish is through the gauntlet. Slumberjack is going to be picking up that big key coming up very soon.
And that is Leslie's 5th crystal.
Yep, that is crystal number 5. Still has Pod and Eastern Palace to go.
Yep. What a pear-shaped casual seed. 2 hours or so going to be our first finish.
Right.
That's just genuinely how terrible this seed has been. It makes sense for these runners to take 2 hours on this mess.
Right, especially and especially the chain of logic. And we have Moldorm 2. Just 2 swings with the Butter Sword right there, and down goes Moldorm on Danny Music's side. Meanwhile, Akuhaish is in satisfying Wizrobe kill number 1 room. And that's a nice full magic drop right there. A well-needed one.
Very nice. No one actually pulled Pet on Restream. All 4 ended up getting their bow out of Meyer, and and I know that Leslie actually had never did end up finding out what was on Pet. We will be telling them in an interview if they choose to join us.
Yeah, and let's check out our Aganometry. Takes 6 hits on Agahnim, but that was a 0 right there. That's all right.
Another 0. Yikes.
All right, there's 1. And especially at the end of this seed, like, and Aga's not really helping matters here either. All right, a nice double right there. So that's number 3, 4, and 5. And down goes Agahnim on Danny Music's side for the 2nd time. So let's go ahead and fight Ganon. And let's see, are we going to check the pre-Moldorm chest? Nope, that's okay. Oh, gotta be a little bit careful on Akuhaish's side, but does take down Moldorm 2.
And Danny's off to Ganon. Slumberjack getting a little bit trolled by Landhouse here too here. As Leslie heads for Helmslore King.
All right, and Ganon giving us some very fun facts about bacon. And already on to phase 2 is Danny Music. With the Butter Sword, it only takes 6 hits. And does probably have to watch for magic, but one of the nice things about the cape is you can hold onto a wall and... does take a Ganon hug right there. Oh, that went south very quickly.
Yikes. Good thing they still had a blue potion on them.
Yep, I was just about to say, got to be a little cautious, like from magic usage. You can run out of magic against Ganon, and it hurts. And our runners are gonna want to get that torch glitch.
They will.
All right, and we are on phase 4. And Agahnim 2 goes down on Akuhaish's side. All right, and we do get the torch glitch, so it's just 12 sword spins to win. All right, and just misses there, but doing this Ganon fight pretty nicely. Danny Music is. And meanwhile, Akuhaish is on phase 1 of Ganon, and I think still has on phase 2 right now.
Old Arm 2 is down for Slumberjack. Happy 2 hours, everyone, and Ganon and Danny is about to be done.
Yep. Get your GGs in chat as Danny's about to cross the most dangerous 1x3 bridge in all of Hyrule, and is about to cross the finish line.
Going to be first on race stream, second in the race overall with a time of 2 hours and 22 seconds. Also GG's to Metcalf, who was the only person to sub to this disaster at a 156.50.
And good news, your quest is over.
Indeed, that's probably quite the relief after 2 hours of this.
Right. All right, and Akuhaish is about to go on to phase 4. Now, while Buttersword does only require 6 hits, the good news is Tempered Golden Sword, it's 12 spins to win. Meanwhile, Slumberjack is about to enter the Ganon fight momentarily. And Akahai's doing a nice job with this Ganon fight, getting some nice doubles here. All right, as Slumberjack falls into the Ganon fight. I think just a couple more hits right now on Ganon's side. Akuhaish being very cautious, using that lamp and making sure that they have magic. I don't know what their bottle situation is like, so that would probably be a... because, yeah, you really don't want to run out of magic here.
No. Especially they do only have Tempered, so it will take a little bit longer. Slumberjack is also in beepity beep mode.
Oh. Alright, but does have that cape. And down goes Ganon over on Akuhaish's side. Get your GGs in chat as Akuhaish is about to cross the most dangerous bridge in all of Hyrule.
GG's, finishing third in the race, second on race stream, 2:02:31, just ahead of Hyrule, finishing fourth, 2:02:42.
Very well done, GG. And meanwhile, Slumberjack is on phase 3 of the Ganon fight. We're having like back-to-back-to-back Ganon fights here. I think we've gotten a good amount of overlap at this point.
We do, but Slumberjack is going to get out of Ganon. Is going to finish the game before Leslie gets out of GT.
Yeah. All right.
Fungus for butterflies, is that not? That would be bugging it on the shroom. Nice game. Thanks.
All right, and we are spin to win over on Slumberjack's side. All right, and using that fire rod, the nice thing is it allows you to get triples, but and I think Slumberjack still does have. still has a green potion, maybe. Oh, or doesn't matter. As Ganon goes down on Slumberjack's side, get your GGs in chat. As Slumberjack is about to cross that bridge and finish third on Restream.
GG's. Third on Restream, 5th overall, 420.
And gets the good news that your quest is over.
Really appropriate text today. Sometimes it's a little bit silly, but this one feels quite appropriate for this, let's see. The stick and twine sleeps again. Indeed.
Yep, and that is, and imagine checking after dipping Desert for the book to read that, to think that could be the Go mode bow, and then getting the good news in Myra, you don't have to end up doing Desert.
Or you don't have to finish Desert, correction. You're allowed to do part of it for that cane.
That's true. That's true. You don't have to complete Desert.
And hello, GTs to Akahaish, Danny, and Slumberjack joining us for the interview.
Hi, thank you. GG, y'all.
So, 2-hour casual seed, huh?
Yeah, that was very casual.
I mean,
exactly what I expected.
good lord, this could have been 20 minutes quicker for me had I just kept going after the hammer. Good lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That felt bad. For context, Danny and Aku, Slumberjack was in Swamp super early, like 20-something minutes, I think. Got hammer in.
I was for sure I had a huge lead, so I just dipped out and like started clearing everything else in the game. Had I just gone to the back, I would have probably won like 20-30 minutes ago.
So you got the hammer early, and it wasn't a last location for you then?
No, hammer was like a very early location for me.
Nice.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes in or something.
Yeah, very early.
Nice.
Yeah,
it was
did it
literally
with
a last location for me.
Yeah, I figured that would be the case for everybody else, and I was like, okay, well, no one else is going to use the hammer for a while, so I did all hammer-related checks, got nothing for the next 30 minutes afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until I went to pod to get the book. That was the next thing I got that was relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shoutouts to the whole logic chain to finish the seed, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had to go to... Well, you first had to do Aga to get to the Dark World, because your mitts were on Lake Island. Your hammer was the first check of Swamp. Your hookshot was left side Swamp of all places. You had to get the book from the back of Pod, either from the back of from Ice-T, Kane from Desert to go to TR to get your flute and your boots to finally finish out the seed.
Yep, this is one that definitely has you make a lot of visits.
Well, and then imagine, because I believe you did check the pedestals, so you knew there was going to be a bow there.
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't a bow for the majority of that seed until you get to Meyer, and there it is. What was your feeling when you saw that bow?
Well, the reason why I did Meyer as early as possible after Turtle Rock, I figured there was something in Turtle Rock, given that we had Ice Rod, Fire Rod, and Cane that quickly. So I figured, okay, let's do Meyer. Let's see if we can do Meyer, because I was missing the Bombos at the time. Bombos ended up being GT, if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can do it, then I'll do it, and then do Desert right afterward, which would be the third pendant, and then I could pick up the bow afterward, and then do Pod and Eastern. But since bow ended up being in Misery Mire itself, I'm like, okay, well, that's the other thing that made it work out. I knew at that point that the bow couldn't be, or that another bow could not be in Ice Palace, because I had already found all 3 items the first time that I dove it without hammer. So, Yeah, it was the best case scenario, I guess, for me, finding the other bow in Misery Mire, which saved just a little bit.
Mhm. It was hard to avoid the pendant dungeon this seed. The desert ended up being had to dip it for that cane, and then with how late with that hammer and hookshot placement, you probably do skill woods and thieves just looking for items. And that's what all 4 people on Restream did.
Oh, and so sorry, just a quick observation. Half magic, it looks like, was in the left chest in the mini Helma room, towards the top of GT.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, lovely.
Ah.
On our internal note sheet, we generally have written down everything but red mail now, actually. I see you got is that a 170 for you, Danny? Yeah.
It's a lot. Where was Red Mail in the end?
That's the only thing we didn't see.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because we were on like Green Mail for a lot of this, and it took a long time for a bottle to show up too.
Oh yeah, Paradox is the first.
And Leslie leaving a couple bombs at the post Moldorm 2 chest, as it just contained, Ganon's allowance, 50 rupees.
Yeah. Yeah, Red Mail's probably behind Ice Armos or in the tile room or something by now. Because we've seen just about everything else we know from the credits that the Bugnet was behind the mushroom.
Hmm.
So your collection rate not too bad, dude. Akahish, 154.
Yeah,
154? Holy jeez.
Yeah, I skipped pretty much all the GT after getting the big key.
And that was a little bit of a time catch up as well, because and Danny, that was an interesting strategy about GT. I don't think I've seen that route where you go to randomizer room and then do full right side. But that worked out really well.
Yeah, the main thing that I was thinking about there was I only had 6 arrows at the time, and I really didn't want to do the Ice Armos fight.
Ah, that makes sense.
That is an excellent point. Yeah, because I think y'all both ended up doing Pod Eastern back to back. So yeah, you were kind of short. There really weren't many chances to refill your arrows after having 30 arrows for like the entire game. Like, you know, if only Link could like hold on to a little bit larger of a quiver.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be more arrows and just showing up randomly in the junk chest in Ganon's Tower, but nope, didn't find any.
Right.
Yeah, I know I ran out.
No.
Right.
Yeah, Leslie it does have half magic, which is nice for Ganon. It is on Temperate Sword. Well, not too bad. Should be done here in a bit.
Yeah, and that was another slight difference that Golden Sword being on in the Stalfos room, I think.
Yep, that's right. The Dark Magician room.
All right, I'm going to let Leslie finish. GG's, everybody. I got to head out.
All right, GG Slumberjack, and congratulations again.
GG's, have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Good race.
And if you're not already, kind of while we're looking at Leslie for finishing up, and we'll be finishing up momentarily, please be sure to give our racers a follow. They did such an incredible job, especially for this seed.
Indeed.
Again, it does get frozen there for a quick second. But yeah, Akuhaish, Danny, kind of any kind of other thoughts about this particular seed?
I thought it was quite rude, but it was a fun one in the end. I made the Aga bow on pedestal, hammer in swamp palace, you know, hook
Right.
shot in left side swamp. There were a lot of rude things about this seed, but I don't know. It's still fun. Rando's rando. You gotta love it. The good ones and the bad ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, please get your GGs in chat, as Leslie Pro 04 has crossed the finish line in a time of 2 hours, 14 minutes, 12 seconds for 4th place on Restream and 7th place overall. GG.
GG's. GG's as well as the Koi, who finished 6th, 2:12:15. And hello. Hello, Leslie. GG's.
GG's. Oh my goodness. Now, I'll say this off the top. If you wanted a seed that was good for spoiler log, per se, did for it. Otherwise, this seed was chat as the Buffalo Bills and the runners as the New England Patriots, because the runners got smoked in this one. And to put some context in it, yes, a Patriots fan said that.
My condolences, by the way.
Also,
but,
yeah, that was stupid what I did in the Vitreous fight. I realized at 1 second too late after I did it, I'm like, oh. Can't finish that thought on speed gaming, but I'm like, uh-oh, gotta do that again. But I just laughed, because at that point, with how dirty the seed was, that's all you could do is laugh. So hopefully somebody clipped it and got a laugh out of it.
Yeah. But, and this seed definitely felt like one of endurance. Like, if you can make it through this seed, then you're good. You can handle anything.
I don't know. I still haven't touched cross keys yet. Just saying. But yeah, let's see. The reason I didn't go into pod at the moment I hit Dark World is I didn't have the money, so I looped around. And I just figured for the heck of it, let's just check the first check of Swamp. Hammer shows up, and I'm like, okay, game, I smell something dirty here. Let's keep going. French vanilla hook shot on left side. I'm like, well, I guess I'm finishing the dungeon and going to the mountain after this. Because with all those checks, who wouldn't do that? If only I had gone to pod, gotten the book, and then the cane out of Pendant Desert. Then that could have been a one-trip Death Mountain. Ah, well, no big deal, though.
But yeah, it was definitely. Yeah, it was definitely there was Swamp was definitely stacked there, but overall, like I think everyone here did such a great job though. Like Agahnim, Danny, Leslie, like y'all got y'all rocked this seed.
Yeah, once I saw that glove, once I saw Titan's mitts on the island, I'm like, okay, let's just check Sahastra's closet, and if nothing's there, just do it. And it wound up being the right call after all, because, yep, this was an Aga seed, and if you went to full pedestal, technically this was an Oops All Dungeon seed, because if you wanted silvers, you had to pull ped.
Yep, that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun, but it was also twisted in its own way. This is a seed I'm sharing to say, fun, Kappa.
Very much so. Casual seed.
Casual, but also casually dirty. But hey, sometimes version 31 rolls a dirty seed, and this time it did. Whew, this ranks up there. Because our first finisher was what, 156?
Yep. The only sub 2, which is a really rare sentence for casual seeds.
That's when you know the bot rolled one heck of a stinker of a seed. Because it certainly was that, no doubt about it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, not even a low 156, it's a 156.50, just barely under 157. Go everywhere, do everything. Good luck finding your everything, really.
Yeah,
Good.
because I was starting to wonder 130, 140, 150. No one had finished yet. I'm like, well, that tells me just about everybody's having pretty much a similar struggle with it. I also had the misfortune of a Hinox clotheslining me in the Dark World.
That felt bad.
Well, then again, Hinox just getting even for Breath of the Wild. Just saying. But yeah, that was certainly a seed. No doubt about it.
All right. So, Leslie, Danny, Akahaish, any final thoughts on the seed before we wrap up?
Thank you all for watching. Thanks, Finch and Star, for commentating, as well as to the trackers and to the restreamers. This was a lot of fun. I hope we gave you as much entertainment as you could ask for a quote-unquote casual seed. GG to all the other runners who managed to finish this monstrosity, and also who didn't manage to finish this monstrosity because it was quite monstrous. And catch you later.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for having me on for Restream. Thanks for doing commentary, tracking. GG's to all the runners. I don't know what's planned for the upcoming tournament, but I'm definitely looking forward to it when it happens, for sure. Besides, this was a nice break from other tournament randomizers I'm currently involved in. But you know what? But you know what? This was fun all the same. Challenging and fun.
Exactly. And you know, that's kind of all you want to ask for, you know? But yeah, also major thank you to Maddie Walkherd and Tall Decay for tracking, and to Star, my co-commentator this evening. Thank you so much. Star, what do we have on the schedule coming up?
Hey, thanks Finch as well for being my co-com here, coming in midway through since we had a replacement. Tomorrow we've got at 1 p.m. Eastern a Cross Keys race, and on Friday we've got a 30 out of 40 Triforce Hunt at 2 Eastern. And then, as per the usual, on Sunday we get an open weekly race at 5:30 p.m. Hopefully that one's a little bit less mean.
Yeah, here's hoping.
But otherwise, the speed gaming schedule is pretty quiet. Got a couple Super Mario Kart, Super Mario Odyssey. It's Mario and the daily race tomorrow, basically. Pretty quiet week at the moment. Not too much tournaments. Could be that time.
Yeah, but it'll be the calm before the storm, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's always something going on.
Because you know it's coming, you know the tournaments are going to start picking up again, and then speed gaming is going to be the place to be for all of that tournament action. You do not want to miss it.
So, if you're not already, please give the Speed Gaming, this channel, the Speed Gaming channel, as well as Speed Gaming 2 through 6, a follow, as well as our racers, and everyone on staff here. But yeah, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Star, I'll let you have the final word.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you next time.